Well, we have begun the show.
Whether we like it or not.
Welcome on in. Keith's not here yet, but we can go ahead and start this bad boy. Welcome on into the Put It in the Books show. I'm just thinking of the broken heart that Keith is going to have, knowing that producer Joe started the show without him.
Oh, because you mean he can't suck up to him? He can't.
You literally said we're waiting for the producer to start the show. You literally said that.
No. I said we're waiting on the douchebag producers.
Okay.
All right. Listen, we are here. We'll see what Keith does here. Season 7, episode number 14, and we're also horizontal this week. We the vertical's gone for the week. Can't change that midstream.
Oh, yeah. So what are we gonna do?
No, we're just gonna live life. You know, producer Joe's gonna produce us. He's gonna guide us. He's our guiding light.
Don't get crazy.
Whining about the shared screen graphics not
listen
coming up
to me.
Correctly. I said, fine, we're gonna do landscape, and that's it. It's just
he's not high or drunk enough yet. So let him get into his mode, and he'll be more reasonable, Farace.
All right, that's all fair. Listen, we all know what's been going on in Metsville since last we spoke. Baby. Good big things. So it's a big fun show, kind of a pregame show for the Mets and Braves that are coming up at right around 7:00, and we'll get to that. Starting lineups, pitching, all that stuff, and more. But first, Rodriguez, how's it going on your end? How's it going? We're in good spirits.
We are in really good spirits. If you want to catch me in a good mood, today's the day to catch me in a good mood. After last night's game, I can't be in a better mood. I can't be in a better mood after last night's game, unless it was a total 12-0 perfect game, no hitter. That would have made me in the greatest mood ever imaginable. However, we're pretty good right now. What do you think?
Definitely for sure. How could we not be thrilled? We'll get to all the stats and stuff, but it's just been insane. Producer Joe, there's no Keith here right now. I can't toss it to Keith to see what's going on in Keith's world.
Don't toss it to producer Joe. He's gonna drop it.
But
he has
knock the door.
No
everything's going on here. Producer Joe, what's going on in your world, buddy?
Fun time to be in my pen. Fun time to have Yankee fan friends and family. Fun time to rub some shit in. They are depressed, and it's hilarious.
I mean, it's so good, right, Joe?
We've experienced it enough. I mean, it's the pinnacle of Schadenfreude. The pinnacle would be winning the World Series and rubbing it in their face, but sweeping them the whole season series.
Not only that, this in the Mets' last 34 games against the crosstown rivals. Yes, last 34 games, the Mets are 23-11 against those Yankees. So good fortune. Okay, but that's behind us now. We're gonna get to everything that's going on in the second half here. Producer Joe, let's get this bad boy started for real.
Put it to box.
OMG, welcome back into the Put It in the Book show. And look who has joined us. It's Keith. What's going on, sir? How's life hanging? How's it going, buddy?
It's going good.
At the beach.
A little.
It's at the beach.
A little sweeping of the skankies. Yeah. My life a little happier,
Happy. All right. I just want to repeat that last stat that I said right before we broke the show here. Mets 23-11 against the Yankees last 34 games. Obviously, they sweep them this year. And the Severino thing, the Yankees or Soto mentioned it, but Boone talked about it also. That whole thing where Severino's in the group chat with the Yankees and they're saying, "Oh, you're gonna be scared," and he said, "Well, you only got 2 good hitters," which is 1,000% accurate. Their leadoff guy, could Yankee fans pick him out of a lineup? Terzio, you saw me on TV? Yes, at the Mets and Marlins. You want to get to that real quick? Rodriguez, you went to the Friday night game. Where Jeff McNeil was just like, "Screw you, Rodriguez. I'm turning this shit around right now in front of you."
And they still didn't win the game for us.
That's right.
Sorry, loser. Almost there. Almost got me to like. Actually, he's been doing very well lately. So I'm gonna just see where this goes.
And he said, "Just screw it. Let me just hit the ball, not try and slap the ball here and there." And
wow. He's only been playing baseball for 20 years. He just figured out, just hit the ball.
Hey,
okay.
Listen,
wow.
Some people learn things. He accidentally won the batting title, and then some people learn things later on in life.
What do you think, Rodriguez, about him hitting all these home runs suddenly? Golf swing.
Okay, if he wants to be
loving cricket, if
he wants to be a home run hitter, let him be a home run hitter.
Just do it, right?
But then
as long as he's getting hits, as long as his average is going up and he's hitting home runs. Not like that with that 1 year Rodriguez. He dipped down in the batting average with his 23 home runs. He went for the power thing.
Well, listen, if he's gonna hit 23 home runs every year, he can bat 280.
Yeah, 280. Okay, yeah.
He can bat 280.
Terzio says, "See the ball, hit the ball." Hello, ball. Bohan thinks Soto still wants to end his career in the Bronx or hang in Queens. OMG, Bohan. We'll get to that. The Mets and Marlins split that series. I was at the 1-0 game with my son, my little guy. That was scary. It was a scary situation, knowing the Mets bullpen, just the 1 run. But that was the game that Diaz had his stuff. He was unhittable that day. They couldn't touch him. And then finished up the series, and then in come we go to the Yankees, just whoop up on them. 5 bombs yesterday. Francisco Lindor continues to be the Yankees' daddy, hitting well over 300 in his career against the Yankees. Him and Pedro, they can co-parent.
Kind of funny.
So let's just open it up. Rodriguez, obviously, you were thrilled coming into the show. Keith, obviously, we all are. But
we're all happy, right?
Talk about real quick the fact Mets beating the Yankees and the Lindor thing. Did you hear the Lindor quote? They said, "Oh, you going back home tomorrow to play the Braves?" Did you hear what he said?
No, I did not.
He said, "We're in New York. We're home."
Woo!
That's a really good captain quote.
Mm-hmm. But it's got to be great.
And Shea number 2. That's what that is.
And he said, but it'll be great to play it back at Citi Field. He's at 20-20 right now, batting average up to 260, 21 team lead in home runs, team lead in stolen bases too. I think
20, probably.
20.
If it's 20,
21 and 20.
Yeah.
Terzio 40-40. You never know, but we'll
He's
see.
supposed to be that guy. He's supposed to be that guy. This is who he's supposed to be. So, he's living up to the expectations of a $30 million contract.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he's going to perform at his peak from June through end of season, whatever that is, playoffs, World Series, I'll take a slow start.
And it's funny. Remember what he said about the All-Star snub? He said, "I guess I got to have a better April."
Well, he had a good first half.
Yeah. Hey, give me 225 in April. We'll all be happy with 225 from Lindor.
Not the one
been great
first half. If you look at his first half, and you compare it to everybody else in his position. I mean, I haven't done that, but I'm gonna just make an assumption that he's probably still top 5 or so.
It's a very good educated guess because he's played very well.
Yeah.
After April, but you know what?
Listen to this.
Whatever.
He hit 032 in April, and still he leads the team in runs, hits, doubles.
I'm gonna fact check producer Joe.
Home runs. He's second in RBI. He's third in walks, and he's first by a mile in stolen bases. So you just do the math, man. He's a superstar. He had a tremendously bad April, and yet he still leads the team in over half the offensive categories. Come on.
That's what he's supposed to do, man.
Too.
Yeah, he's basically playing really, really good defense. Not Gold Glove caliber, because I've seen him. He's made a few errors, but it happens.
Okay, wait a second.
He's the team home run leader.
Yeah, and I was having a conversation with Mama Farace yesterday about that, and the significance of that. If let's say Lindor does lead the team in home runs, Pete's claim to fame is his pop. What does that do to his contract negotiations when he can't lead his own team in home runs?
Yeah, let's see how the season plays out. That is definitely a really valid, good question, but. If it continues in that motion where Lindor actually ends up leading the team in home runs, it will lessen his value a little bit. At least with the Mets, it will. I don't know about throughout the league. He might get the Mets might get outbid if that does happen, but it's still early. I mean, Pete's capable of like a 10 home run.
Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah, it was just casual conversation.
But yeah, it's definitely a valid thought and question. Sure.
Now let me ask you this. I don't know about what Joe just said, but according to StatMuse, Francisco Lindor batted 210 in the month of April.
Not 032?
No, not 032.
I'm sorry. When he hit his low point of the season, he was hitting 032, and it was in April.
Yes.
Well, he was also batting disgusting. 0 in April, so he sucked because that's probably before the game started.
So I mean, it wasn't terrible then. All right, just give me 15 more points next year. Oh wow!
You sit in the corner. You just sit in the corner and listen to me talk about you. All right, that's what you do. You just sit right there. I'll let you know.
I mean, if it helps at all,
I'm sure it does.
Kevin Mitchell and Mike Hampton wore number 32.
What are you talking about?
Let's move along.
Okay. All right. So Mets are obviously riding this high. The hitting is clicking. Cole, yeah, that's insane. We're also you see the Mr. Met picture? Him holding Garrett Cole like a baby? It was great. But yeah, we beat him up last time out, beat him up this time out. All up in his mind, he several pitch clock violations, one to cause a walk. Like, that's your ace?
Somehow the Mets, not somehow, because we were hitting him and we were having really good at bats, and we were having a lot of runners on base. So that's how. But all of that really got into his head. Because Garrett Cole, I mean, obviously, look at his stats, the back of the card, everything else. He's a really good pitcher. We just really got in his head. Really good discipline by the Mets hitting. A couple of things that just went our way. That's what baseball is all about. And, some really good base running. And we got in his head and broke him down. And he just couldn't handle it. That's my take on that game.
It was it was such a glorious game. Amazing.
It really was. I mean, Mets performed well and things went our way. I mean, it was like our two perfect worlds. They didn't have to collide. They just ran together.
This is now. You remember we talked months ago. I mean, we've been talking about this for years, but we talked about the consistency of things, right? Where the entire team goes on a slump, or the entire team gets hot at the same time, and then lets us down 2 weeks later. This is a sustained since June 1st. Most runs per game, highest winning percentage in all of baseball. And it's because not everybody caught fire at once. It did a little bit at the beginning, but JD Martinez cooled off. Lindor stayed hot. Nimmo stayed hot. Vientos got even hotter. And other guys kind of took a step back. Alvarez is not hitting as he was before, but he's still hitting. So it's the fact that I think that Mr. Mendoza, our new manager, has really instilled this attitude to play to your top game, except for Jeff McNeil, and go from there, because they've it's been sustained since May 18th.
Dude, but it's a new philosophy of hitting, dude. Yep. Mm-hmm. Remember the Mets? The Mets were trying to be a pull team. Everybody was trying to draw the pitch to them instead of going where the pitch is. Hit it where it is. Don't try to pull it. Don't try to hit it the other way. Just hit the pitch where it is, and you get pitched outside. You go outside and you hit a bomb. Because guess what? If you look at a baseball bat, the thickest part of it is at the end. So when you hit the outside ball, if you don't hit the top of it, you're gonna get good wood on it. And that's how JD Martinez makes his living, and that's how everyone has decided to say, "Hey, let's do that too." How about that? Lindor's hitting home runs the opposite way. Nimmo's hitting home runs the opposite way. Martinez, even Vientos. Pete is slowly. That's the problem with Pete, though. He's slowly buying into this and not diving or reaching for balls that are low or outside, because that's where he falls into that
slider down
250
and away
batting. Yeah, he wants to hit the ball down and away, and he wants to hit it so bad to the opposite field that he swings at it instead of making them come to him, because they have to come to him eventually. They have to get a ball down the middle or on the outside corner somewhere high level where he can drive it. It's the whole batting philosophy. Hitting philosophy. I don't know if it's Chavez with JD Martinez, with Mendoza, and then the rest of the team followed suit. But the new hitting philosophy, you could see it, dude. These guys are hitting the ball where it is, and they're just driving it. And the only way you can drive it is to be trying to hit the ball where it's pitched. That's the only way you could do that.
Yeah,
Keith, question for you on this, on the whole Pete thing, and just the consistency around him. In years past, last year, I felt that Pete put so much of the onus on himself because the rest of the lineup was shit. That he pressed himself into swinging at those pitches down and away and just whirling at the ball and just looking lost. This year, I feel like, especially in the last 2+ months, majority of the season now, he can relax a little bit because the guys around him are doing it.
Yeah, and so with Pete, the biggest thing when Rodriguez was saying what he was saying, that the only thing I can think of real quick was extending his back and arms. When he's extending his back and arms after a pitch, he's in a slump. To Rodriguez's point, he's got to wait for his pitch. And sometimes that means you're looking at a strike. It is what it is until you can learn a little better or relearn where those strikes are and so on. But, now that everybody's hitting around him, I think it's another adjustment for him to, I think he needs to really understand he can be so much more patient now because he has people behind him and in front of him who are hitting, and the pitchers are pitching to him a little bit differently. And as weird as it sounds, I think it's an adjustment for him because he's trying to understand the new approach for these pitchers. And he's not as quick a learner as I think he should be. He's a really smart hitter when he wants to be, but he doesn't think these pitches through. He doesn't hit it where it is. He goes ahead and forces his swing. He forces what he thinks his ability is. And he needs to chill out, take a breath, take a step back, and let his pitches come to him. And he'll start hitting those 450-foot bombs again consistently. And I think he's smart enough to get to it. He's just not as quick as catching on as I would like him to be. But the guy is a great hitter. And he's a above average fielder. He's somebody you want on your team. So
yeah. So, and then the other part of this whole thing is, good championship caliber teams have the depth. And I know producer Joe turned on ESPN during a moment where the ESPN was being very nice to the Yankees, but for the most part yesterday, I felt like they were really, beefing up the Mets, hyping up the Mets. And one of those things is the depth. Tyrone Taylor. Hello, this guy has been great. He's won us ball games. That play that he made yesterday in center field?
Very good play. Yeah,
5% chance to catch that ball.
Bro, when we signed him, I was like,
bench guy.
I looked at his stats. I was like, oh, okay. Watching him play, I was like, oh, okay.
The bench has been good. Not DJ Stewart. But everybody not named DJ Stewart has been really good on bench wise. Jose Iglesias, as Terzio said, has been a godsend, both from a chemistry perspective and playing on the field perspective. This guy's still hitting 340.
He's united the team, by the way.
Yes.
And in the fun part, fun part of being a team. He's that little cog that gets the engine going, because the "Oh My God" song, the hits, the energy. He slides in at home and he, talks to the crowd and people go crazy. This is the guy that, this is the type of guy that you need on a team that at the time needed someone to jump to liven them up, to provide a spark plug, because remember, for a while, these guys were dead, so the fact of him coming up and hitting well, then, and doing the right thing, it's made the team, a fun team. You see them having a lot of fun with each other.
Yeah, and
like George just said, deep lineup. I mean, I'm just going to go back and kind of reiterate what I just said. David Stern, when he started bringing all these different players in, it was a little frustrating. Like, what the is this guy doing? Like you want splash and splash. And coming to this point, you realize what he was doing. He was building what's most important in MLB today, and that's depth of players who can get out there and perform. You don't need a team full of Lindors and Alonsos. You need a couple of those, and then you need a ton of players who can just get out there and perform in multiple defensive positions.
Yeah, and that's what we built. And to add to that list of those two names is Nimmo. I know he got off to the slowest start I think I've ever seen him get off to, but again, he Mendoza through conversation or whatever it was, figured it out. Lindor should bat leadoff, Nimmo should bat second, and they rewarded him for that decision. So and to your point, Keith, 1 through 9, Terzio's point also, 1 through 9 are guys that can drive in runs and can hit the ball where it's pitched. Even guys like Taylor and Iglesias for sure.
Yeah, there's easier outs, but there's no easy outs.
Right.
Yeah,
and the chemistry that's always there. Before the game started on Saturday, Lindor and Nimmo and Pete were in like a little huddle. They were talking about what the pitcher was doing on the mound and in warm-ups. They gave each other three different hugs. That's the chemistry on this team, and it's pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool to see.
Let's talk about Iglesias for a quick second. I mean, this guy is like energy. He's like a 5-hour energy shot for everybody. He's like greenies in the locker room again. This guy has been so much fun to watch. But let's not just talk about the oh my God, right? Let's talk about his defensive prowess over there when he plays second base, his clutch hitting. This guy has, and
turning a double play while mic'd up for ESPN. Vientos started that.
Vientos is a whole other story. That we can do a whole show on Vientos.
No, but then Iglesias turned it while on the mic. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, then when he was running to the dugout, that was really cool. But this guy has been a real spark to this team. And I think he's been a spark to McNeil too, right? So McNeil started hitting all of a sudden, right? Why? Because Iglesias was just looking better than him. And it got to a point where Met fans stopped even talking about McNeil for a while. Talk show hosts even stopped talking about McNeil. They were talking about Iglesias and how he's deserving more playing time. So he's lit a fire under McNeil's ass. So having them two ignite each other, it does nothing but help us propel forward into the playoffs, hopefully.
Propel. I feel like Mama Farace has a crush on Jose Iglesias. That's what I do
too if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Wow. All right, and the tree, Sergio's very concerned that the tree's going to knock you out there. But moving along here, Rodriguez, start off with you on this one. Mr. Vientos has been. You kind of liken this go around in the majors to what we got from Pete. Not similar, but better defense than what we thought we were going to see. He's made all the plays. He's made some of the more difficult plays, and we have on this show at least have not talked about Brett Beatty in months. What's your take? How I mean, we're all pleasantly surprised by 292, something like that. But talk about Vientos and what you've seen out of him since he came back up.
He adjusted. He figured out he figured out that he doesn't have to swing at every curveball. He doesn't try to hit. Sometimes you could see him do the same thing that the polar bear does, which is get out of his zone and just swing at anything that comes around the plate. But he's making the pitchers come to him. They're coming. He knows when a fastball is coming. He drives it the opposite way. He's got a ton of power. We spoke about this a lot, that this kid has power to straight up center field to hit the ball 440, 450. He's a big kid. His favorite ball player, according to him, was David Wright. David Wright's a third baseman. That's the position he wants to play. He's practiced with McNeil and then with everybody else. So, he's getting better defensively, just like Pete did. Remember when we had a problem with Pete in the first year or so, that he was a little bit out of control.
He wanted to go and get the ground balls that were going up the middle.
He wanted to play second base as well as first base, right? Yep. I mean, but at the same time, this guy had a little bit of a different problem where he didn't look quick enough to play third base. He didn't look like confident enough. And now he's like, this is my spot, dudes. This is my position. You can't take it away from me. I'm a hitter now in this league. I mean, this is his first real year. So let's just pull back a little bit. But a 290 average and 12, 13 home runs he has? Something like that, 12 or 13 home runs, whatever. 13. It's pretty good at the half for a guy, And
he didn't play the whole half.
For a guy that only started
he didn't play the whole half. So he's got the rest of the year to finish off. So if he finishes off with 20 to 25 home runs, and I'm gonna even bring his average down just for fun at 265 and 25 home runs, and playing that defense that he's playing, I'm saying we found a third baseman for the foreseeable future. And like we were talking about earlier, if his game expands to another level, if he goes from that home run level to that secondary superstar level where he's a 30 to 40 home run guy and his average goes up another 10, 20 points, it makes a lot of people on this team expendable, or at the MLB level and also at the minor league level. It makes a few guys very expendable, which is what we were talking about. So what do you think about that?
I think Vientos, I think if he continues on this track, he's going to be hitting these majestic bombs and he's going to hit 40 home runs. I'm not saying this year. I'm saying in the future. Although,
yeah, and you know what? Screw Rodriguez. I'm glad he's gone. Let's talk turkey right now. I'm just kidding. Rodriguez, come back. Oh
no.
No, what?
I want Rodriguez to come back. I don't want you to sing though.
Oh, okay. Then I'm listening more.
Got to draw the line somewhere.
It's another thing that really excites me in ways that is unnatural. No, you know what really makes me think even more, and something that's not mentioned so much is Vientos' height. He's taller than the average third baseman, So defensively, with the capability he's been showing.
Are you trying to say you want to trade Pete, move him to first base?
Yeah.
All right.
No, what I'm saying is that his height and stretch and reach, defensively can really improve his game. He can get at a lot more. than the average third baseman. So
yeah, and his arm has been better than advertised. Also, obviously we're all pleasantly surprised with him and Alvarez. It's not like us to when we talk about prospects, it's like okay, but when these things do come to fruition in the Alvarezes and the Vientos, and guys who are now veterans and Nimmo and these guys and Pete. It's good.
Should I sing to Rodriguez now?
No. Okay. No. All right. Really quick. Let's do our mid-season grades for each not each of the players, but overall pen and this and that. Let's get through that quickly, Keith. And then we'll get into the upcoming series. We'll get into the lineup for tonight and see who's pitching, all that fun stuff. So we look at it as a whole. The Mets started off 0-5, then they won 12 of their next 13, and then 9-19 in the month of May. But then since June 1st, it's been like 17 different seasons just packed into the first 4 months of the year. Let me get my shoes. Hey guys, all right, welcome on in from YouTube. You should go get your shoes.
I'm not stopping you, bro.
Cleats. It's a baseball show. Vientos, Lindor, Acuna Jr., and Alvarez. Then where's Alvarez going?
Catcher.
But
behind the plate.
There's no first baseman. So we're assuming Pete.
Right. Whoa.
I'm just saying, Jose.
You're right.
Terzio, in order for us to get to the next level, Marte is going to be here. Marte is going to get himself going, going to get himself right, and let him take his time. Let take his time. Come back in September. I don't care.
That's a walk for him, right, Marte?
Yeah. Rodriguez already has him gone.
No, he's not coming back.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah. All right, let's do this real quick. All right, so again, totality of the season. Let's go with the hitting first. That lineup was again tale of two seasons within the first 4 months, but lineup was meh, but has been the most productive lineup in all of baseball since June 1st. So Keith, where are you going on this one? Give me a letter grade, quick. Bam!
Because they brought us up so quick, that lineup, and brought us to where we are. Really, we have been relying heavy on them, but I also have to include their first half as being terrible. I'm going to give them a B+.
First half of the first half was bad. Rodriguez,
first half, right?
Yeah, I can't give them a full A because, like he said, the first 2 months they were awful and they weren't really playing well. But a solid B because I kind of think they're playing above their pay grade. Some of the guys there are playing very, very well, and they're not known for that. So a B is
talking to you, Jose Iglesias.
Very good. I'm talking about Jose Iglesias. I mean, come on, let's be real. Tyrone Taylor, Iglesias.
But Tyrone Taylor, I feel like has been like in bunches. Like he's been great and then okay. But in the past we've relied on those guys as starters, so that's why that depth has been money.
That's the problem. Those guys can't be starters. Once you put Tyrone Taylor in for a whole week, you see his deficiencies, which is hitting that curveball. Yeah. Hitting that all speed stuff. The fastball, he's a beast. And you see Bader, that he has no difference in his swing. Everything is straight this way. Yeah. That's the only one he hits. You see that deficiency. So it's good to be able to, move them in and out.
But it's nice to see with those players with those deficiencies like Bader and Tyrone Taylor. Those guys are grinders. They get out there and they bust their ass.
Ballers,
body on the line.
Yeah. They're hardcore. They're diving all over the place. But those are the guys off the bench. Those bench guys have to do that. That's their job to bring in the hustle.
Mm-hmm. Is that what they met Farace on Grindr? Sorry, I had to do it.
Similar to like a Mark Canha, right? But he was our everyday left fielder. So that's
that was solid. You know,
well, that's what we did wrong for those teams. You know, by the way, real quick, we brought in guys that were part-time guys, and we expected them to double their production if they were full-time guys. But the problem is they could only play. That was their full production half of the season. That's the best they could do. Like McCann, like your boy Counter.
McCann, that's producer Joe boy. He loved McCann. That was his boy. That's boy.
That is true. He did really like him.
Pat says Kevin Mitchell was number 7, but I think Keith said Keith Mitchell before. You said Keith Mitchell before, didn't you?
No, say Kevin Mitchell. I thought he was 32. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to look that up.
He said Kevin.
All
right. Producer Joe, what do you got for the lineup overall? Grade for the first half of the year. Yeah, I agree.
That makes perfect sense.
Oh, B-. All right. Yeah, I think we're all in the same general area. I go with a B. For the first half, they had their ups and downs. You can't count out the 9-19 May, which a lot of that had to do with hitting. A lot of that had to do with what we'll talk about next. Let's move to the bullpen.
Ooh.
Let's move to the bullpen. First half of the season. Tergio says B for that. Jose says let's bring back Chris Bassett. There was rumors about Mark Canha, that the Mets were tied to Mark Canha for depth. For the trade deadline. But
not a good move.
Let's just can we get rid of DJ Stewart? He's weighing on me.
He can go back
like
to the minors.
Vogelfat was.
No, don't compare him to Vogelfat. You know,
look at his stats. No. I feel like Vogelfat was more productive last year than DJ Stewart is this year.
All right. Why even got to bring up Vogelfat though?
You did it.
I didn't.
Yes, you just said Vogelfat.
I'm talking about DJ Stewart.
I'm kidding. Let's go to the videotape. No, let's go to Vogel Snack, says Terzio. Hervé, what's up? No Canha. For the bullpen. We'll start with you, Rodriguez, on this one. The bullpen, highs and lows, like we always see.
At times it was stellar, bro. At times it was stellar, and it had to be because the offense was sucked. But it took their toll, and now guys have hurt arms and are back in the minor leagues playing for the Long Island Ducks, and who cares where they are? Here's the thing with the bullpen. Stearns is doing a great job managing the bullpen. I'm going to say that because the second he sees these guys start to wane, gone. Give me another guy, bring somebody up, get somebody in that role. Let's try somebody new. And that's the things that you have to do. You have to keep these bullpen guys moving because at the end of the day, they're failed starters. That's all they really are, failed starters. The guys that can't pitch a starter game. So they can only do 1 or 2 innings, just like pretty much our starters right now. But they can only do 1 or 2 innings anyway. So
we're 7th now. We're 7th in all of baseball.
I know. We are getting better. We are getting better.
Terzio. Terzio says Jeremy Hefner should be getting unemployment.
Thank you, Terzio. Thank you. Thank you. Can't even give him any credit.
Can we put Pat's comment up there? That's great. Dom DeLuise, aka DJ Stewart. Excellent. And guess what? He's in the lineup tonight, and we'll get to that after we do the go around.
First him out, make him feel great. I give the bullpen a B at the end of it because of all the stuff that they really had to go through with the offense and the starting pitching.
You're giving them the benefit of the doubt.
I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that they are hustlers, and you know what? They kept the Yankees to 3 runs through 9 innings, and they've done a good job most of the time when they don't get worn out. The bullpen is only as good as your starters, so I'll give them a B.
All right, Keith.
Over the course of 90 games, yes, they have had good stretches, but every time they had a good stretch, I was completely shocked that it was a good stretch, and every time they blew it, I was expecting them to blow it. I think this bullpen has been shaky. I think this bullpen has been miserable. I think this bullpen has been the reason why we're not solidly in first place for the wild card. I think they've been faulty. I think our starting pitching has really battled
we're not there yet.
every time. And then every time the bullpen came in, I just fully expected them to blow it. Granted, our starting pitching is not going deep enough, and they're getting worn thin. However, they're not doing their job, so I'm giving them a C+. No, a C. I'm giving them a C.
All right, so and just to run down some of the grades that they're putting in the comments, Jose's got a D+, George D or F, C-, C- from producer Joe. I landed a C, just because of the in May, part of that 9-19 was 6 blown games where the Mets were leading after the 7th inning.
Let's be honest, Farace, even when they started doing well, our wins were more based on our offense outperforming the bullpen's failures.
But no, agreed. But if that stretch where the Mets were 9-19 in May, 6 of those games, Mama Fratz says give them a Z-. But 6 of those games were decided after the 7th inning when the Mets were leading, and so if you win 4 of those 6 games, now you're 7 games over. Now you're a little bit more entrenched in the wild card, and so it's been, the bullpen was really good, then really bad, and now so. So that's why I land somewhere in the middle there. Christian Scott needs his kind of buffet.
Is because the starting pitching has failed them a little bit too by being a 4 2/3 pitching staff.
Well, no, we're 7th in all of baseball in the number of innings the starting pitchers go. We're 7 out of 30 teams. I think that's
disgusting.
I think it's pretty good.
You need to get back to baseball.
You can't. Well, there was a no-hitter today. You can't say the Mets being 7th in all of baseball in 2024 is disgusting because it's 2024.
No, if our 95 is 7th in all of baseball, that's disgusting for the scope of baseball. That's what I'm saying.
Fair. Okay. All right. So let's do pitching staff really quick. It's 6:59. We just have a few more minutes. So real quick, Rodriguez, pitching staff, starting pitching staff, which has been without Senga for the entire first half, as predicted.
C+. You said Quake, right?
Look at you. Well, I'm a little shocked. Keith, what you got for the starting pitching?
I know we got to go, but I'm kind of curious if you can do it like real quick, Rodriguez. Like why C+?
Real quick.
No, I want to know. Like
no, I'm just like this. Real quick.
Okay. See, I give them a C+ because they were a 4.5 a 4-inning pitching starting staff for the first couple of months, which helped the Mets suck. The times that they were good, when you got an overworked bullpen, it didn't matter how good they were. So, that's why I say now that they're pitching 6 innings, okay. I know it's not 1995, but they're pitching 6 innings, almost 7 innings. I think the Mets are winning games a lot more because of their offense, because of their pitching staff is going 7 innings, and the bullpen is not getting overworked. So everything works with each other. So when the pitching staff is better, the Mets are way, way better. So a C+ for the first half. And I think if they keep pitching the way they pitched the last couple of weeks, they're definitely gonna get a B+, probably an A considering their talent when Senga comes back.
So we both have the same philosophy on the averages of baseball starters today. I'm gonna give them a B-. Sorry, Fratch, I'm just jumping in. I'm gonna give them a B-, which is close to what you just gave them for similar reasons, because I think they need to pitch a little deeper into games. They're starting to do that. They need to do it more consistently.
All right. I go right around B, on B-. B-. Let me go B- on them because of the consistency. There's a stretch for all of them, but I will say that the stretch for all of them all coincided with Francisco Alvarez being out. That plays a big part into this starting pitching staff. They're 17 games over 500 when Alvarez is starting, 12 games under when he's out. So that was a big thing too. So we'll see how that goes along here. Producer Joe calls
behind the plate. He's great behind the plate. Those are things that we should actually talk about sometime when we have some time. How good he's been behind the plate and how alive he is and how he brings the game to the pitchers and keeps them involved. We should talk about that a little bit more sometime.
That's a whole other show, but yes.
Yeah.
Totally
all right. So let's get into what's going on in just a few minutes here. It's Mets and the Braves. Them bitches from Atlanta. Sorry, Ma.
Exactly.
Tonight, let's talk about some of the pitching matchups real quick. Chris Sale goes tonight, 13-3. Definitely wasn't expecting this. 2.70 ERA. Severino 7-3, 3.58 ERA. So I think on both ends, obviously Chris Sale to a bigger extent at 13-3. 140 strikeouts for Sale. Man, he went back to old time Chris Sale. Severino 7-3, 3.58 ERA. Both pleasant surprises, I'm sure, to their teams. Okay, are we able to get the lineup? Just real quick, producer Joe. The lineup tonight. Nimmo's not in. My only guess as to why Nimmo would be held out as opposed to DJ Stewart. DJ Stewart's in playing right field is because DJ Stewart doesn't know how to hit baseballs, and the potential for Chris Sale to screw up a lefty like a Nimmo, maybe. That's the only thing I can think of.
Nimmo's been struggling. I don't know if you watch his at bats for the last couple of games, but he's been striking out. You see he's had his head down a couple of times. I've been watching him. He's not. Maybe there's something going on. Maybe Mendoza said, let's give him a blow. Let's let him sit down and chill for a minute and not go against a tough lefty. So I see the reason why to take Nimmo out and pretty much offer up DJ as a sacrifice.
As bait. I remember a few years ago where they left what's his name, Rodriguez, the guy from the Giants. Don't look at me.
Bumgarner,
where Conforto, name from the past, was doing so well, and then he faced Bumgarner, and he was like 0 for his next 40 something. So
yeah,
we know that a lefty can screw up a lefty. But all right, lineup for tonight is Lindor, Iglesias in the 2-hole instead of Nimmo, JD Martinez, then Pete, Vientos, and McNeil, Alvarez, Taylor, and Stewart. The only AO automatic out I see in that is DJ Stewart. I think this lineup is solid. And on the other side, you got Mr. Kellenic, Austin Riley, who's not been Austin Riley, Ozuna, who's a women beating, lead the league in home runs, though. Olsen, Travis d'Arnaud. Let's run all over this dude tonight, please. Rosario's back. Screw him. I don't know who this Alvarez fellow is. I don't know who Laureano is. And RCS, screw you. What are the other pitching matchups for tomorrow?
This is a big time spot for this guy to claim himself as a top 1 or 2 pitcher. Severino. This is his shot.
We have done well against aces this year. Our batting approach has done really well at breaking them down. I think we're going to actually win this game.
All right. Well, hold on that. We'll do the predictions at the end. Morton, Senga tomorrow. Senga. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. Senga's on the back of my jersey here. All right, that's tomorrow night. 7:10. Saturday, the Saturday game. I'm thinking it's the Fox game, 4:10 p.m. It's Schwellenbach. 3-5 for the Braves, 4.62 ERA versus who was announced today? Rodriguez's boy, Tyler McGill, 2-4, 5.08 ERA. And then for the
hope we have a bullpen ready for that game.
I felt that. And then the Sunday finale at Citi Field, it's David Peterson, 5-0, 3.14 ERA, pitching well.
That bullpen.
Yes, he'll go 5. Versus Ronaldo Lopez, 7-4, 2.12 ERA. We'll blow that up. That's the NYC area code. We're not going to have that. All right, really quick projections here. It's 7:06. We just have a few more minutes here. Keith, what you got on predictions for this series?
2-1, bookend wins.
It's a 4 game.
I Oh yeah, today's Thursday.
Yeah. Say it 3-1. Say it 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. I think we're gonna lose Saturday.
McGill, Tyler. All right. Jose says McGill and Hauser Saturday. All right, Rodriguez, what's your prediction on this one?
Sure, McGill and Hauser. We're splitting it. I think we're splitting it.
2-2?
Yeah, I think we're splitting it.
We're a 500 team at home, so that.
And is Freddie Freeman playing?
Not this time.
Well, remember that the Braves offense has been struggling.
Yeah, they suck. Producer Joe, what you got on this one?
2-2. 2-2.
I don't know. What happened?
How about a 4-game sweep? That's what we're doing to the Braves. We are going to sweep the shit out of them at Citi Field. That's what's happening. That's a 6-game winning streak. We're going to whoop them. We're going to pass them in the standings. Come here.
Come on.
No. Oh, wait.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I hugged the wrong way. All right. All right. And then the series afterwards, we won't get into that, as Minnesota Twins come to town. So we got a lot of 3-1s, 2-2s from the naysayers, Rodriguez and producer Joe. And I'm the only one. I could go on a limb. Let's go. Let's sweep these bums. Let's sweep these bums.
It's a big limb you're standing on.
Let's go. What?
It doesn't mean that we don't want it to happen, Farace. We just think it's
years ago, you walked out on me when I said the Mets weren't going to make the playoffs.
I have a friend who's a Braves fan who's
You're
going up to New York City Field to watch these games, and he messaged me and said, "My biggest fear right now is I really think the Mets are going to sweep us."
Let's go. Let's go.
That's what I said. Yeah.
We don't have time to do a round robin. Let's get up on out of here. Let's go, Mets. Terzio says 4-2. Mets win tonight.
Nice
Keep
job,
update on everything that's going on in the Put in the Books show group. We'll talk trades, all that.
In the book this weekend.
Good stuff. I didn't hear a quick fuck it on the way out, Keith. Quick.
Fuck and talk to the whole entire Braves team. Sail. Double fuck the top, biatch.
All right, get us out of here, producer Joe.
Put up the bullets.
Fun show, gentlemen.
Fun show, fellas.